SGC here, and we're back with a movie review. Wild. Directed by John Mark Valley, the guy that brought us Dallas Buyers Club. This is a inspired event based on a memoir, and the memoir was written back in 2012 by the name of Wild, From Lost to Found on the Pacific Crest Trail by Cheryl Strayed. And who do we have in this movie? We have Reese Witherspoon, Laura Dean, and everyone else. Check down below. So what's this movie about? Well, as the memoir is by Cheryl Strayed, Reese Witherspoon plays Cheryl Strayed, and it talks about her going on a trip on the Pacific Crest Trail, and basically the entire movie is taking place on the trail and through flashbacks as she decides to hike more than 1,000 miles on this trail. And along the way, she tries to heal herself following her divorce, the death of her mother, and years of reckless, destructive behavior. And basically is a character study and just showcasing what she went through before and after as she's going on this trail. So what did I think? Well, first off, I always had a crush, per se, for Reese Witherspoon. I haven't watched many of her films, but she's a eye candy face for me, and that's what sort of attracted me. And then when I watched the trailer, I was like, this is intense. This is like 127 hours, but on a trail sort of thing. It seems like a breakout role sort of thing, and I watched it. I enjoyed it. First off, I have to say, the editing in this film is superb. It was just really amazing how they cut everything really well in terms of how they did the narrative. As the narrative and editing went hand in hand, as in, there are trail cuts, and then all of a sudden it'll jump back to a flashback scene of what she's dealing with, what she's thinking about, and the editing is just seamless, and it's just really organic. And as she flashbacks, it's a narration, or when she comes back on the trail, she'll talk to herself, monologue, narrative, voiceover sort of thing, and that was enjoyable as well. The monologue voiceover was a difference sort of thing. I didn't expect that. I sort of was hoping for a lot more on-screen acting, but I think her voice work here was just really great, where it really helped with the storyline, and it just really was fun to just have a character study as she's walking this trail, and she'll talk to herself and really explore the characters that she is, or as she's reflecting off what happened with her and her mother, and just things like that. That was really enjoyable. In terms of shots, it's not a very majestically beautiful movie, despite the fact that it's taken on the Crest Trail, and I don't know, it's not something that you would have expected. I would say that it's not as beautiful as, say, The Life of Walter Mitty with Ben Stiller. Like, that shot was crazy. But here, just like a, rugged, going on a trail sort of thing. Like, very authentic in terms of just the scenes is what you would go through. And also, I really enjoyed the narrative as they dwelled on the actual trail itself, like what you had to do for preparation, the real life stuff, like, are you really packed, ready, what have you, and sort of that stuff. Now, in terms of acting, Reese Witherspoon really it was just enjoyable. Her acting was enjoyable, despite the fact that she has not that much of on-screen acting, as in she's just walking around, but you can see the commitment, and I really appreciate the commitment that she put into this film. Now, in terms of the other actors, the people that play her family, I would say I would have wanted more in terms of Laura Dean, who plays her mom. And sure, there were scenes where it just felt like it was good, but I just felt I wanted more. And Thomas Sadisky, who plays her husband, like, these people just pop in and out, and I feel that it could have been developed more. There could have been more there, and it's not saying that what we have is a bad thing, but I just wanted more. I always want movies to be better. And I think if it was developed more of the relational stuff, and really drive home about how her relationships are messed up, how she's in this reckless behavior and all that. And basically, if you don't like Reese Witherspoon, this is going to be a hard movie to watch, because she's in it in the majority, as in probably 80-90% range. And if you do enjoy her in terms of eye candy, she's there. It really shows you her acting skills, and sure, she's been in other movies for sure. And I think for me, it's like, this is the movie where it really showcased her acting. I mean, I watched her in Mud. She was really different from her previous, like, love triangle movies, but now I feel that she is more of a contender to, like, hey, I can act sort of thing, and not just a pretty face. And she does that here, and I just really appreciate that thought, and I just really love the whole nature route thing. I mean, as a kid, I read Bill Bryson's A Walk into the Woods, and And I just felt like I was reading this book again. And I think if you're a nature outgoing type of person, do trails, I think you would appreciate it even more on a different level compared to people that, you know, never go on trails. And even if you don't go on trails, I think you learn how it's so intense, or like, oh yeah, definitely I won't do that. So I think this movie has something for everybody in terms of just nature walking, family relations, and just reckless behavior, and just self-reflection on your actions. And basically, this was a great movie, and I definitely recommend it to check out. But I mean, if you don't like Reese Witherspoon, it's going to be a hard sell for sure. But beyond that, if you have seen Wild, do leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And that is all for this movie review for Wild. Out.